Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting. Thank you for all the panelists. As I said in Paris, where several of us were, Ambassador Bolton was not there, but any group that can bring together Bolton, Card, Torricelli, and Filner, and now we got Bartlett and we had Poe. Anybody that can bring those people together, they got to be doing something right. Probably led by a cult leader, I guess, but I don't know, to bring us all together. I think we should all hang around, Andy and others. I think we could solve the debt crisis easily enough, right? If we could do this one, we could do the debt crisis. So the same four, just stay here, okay? I'm here like many of you because we are trying to make sure that this nation and this world does not forget about Camp Ashraf and does not forget about the brave people who are there standing up for democracy and human rights. You know, I look at Camp Ashraf not only in and of itself, although in and of itself it's very important, but as a microcosm of things this nation and this world better do before the final pullout from Iraq takes place. Because whether we agreed or disagreed with whether we should have gone in there, and I think probably Mr. Bolton and I disagreed on this, but we've been there, we've produced an enormous sacrifice of American treasure and blood. And we cannot leave there and have Iran take it over. I mean, Ashraf is sort of the test case here. It was our responsibility as Americans to protect Ashraf. We took on that responsibility. I'm not sure we have, somehow, we cannot give it up as easily as we think we have. And the Iranians are telling the Iraqis what to do there. Eliminate them. Well, what happens after we take the full military presence out? Are they going to say, you know, are the Iranians going to take over and tell Iraq what to do? This would be a tremendous, tremendous defeat for human rights and for world peace. So Ashraf is sort of the microcosm or the test case here. We cannot allow that Ashraf to be eliminated, because that means everything we have tried to do in Iraq will be eliminated, in my opinion. I don't know, Mr. Bolton, do we agree on this one?
Pretty close, yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear what you said, so this could destroy my political career if we agree, but and yours, both of us. So, but if we allow Ashraf to just be eliminated, and the people there who have stood up for human rights have helped us with intelligence to be eliminated, basically, that foretells what occurs when the Americans fully pull out of Iraq. We cannot allow that to occur. We simply cannot allow that to occur. And whether it's American troops or UN troops or some agreement, we have got to protect Ashraf. I see that many have said that if we can be relocated into another country safely and as much as possible together, we will accept that. But that takes the delisting of MEK as a terrorist group that we must do as a precursor to that. But whatever we do there, Ashraf has become the symbol of our resistance to Iranian takeover of not just, of course, Iran, but other parts of the Middle East. We simply cannot allow that to happen. Our protection of Ashraf is a protection of Iraq, and is a symbol of resistance to Iran. The MEK has, in my opinion, has the best policy for Americans. They say, don't invade Persia. I'm a historian, so I'm thinking of 5,000 years ago. I'm sorry. We can't invade Iran, but we should not appease those who are in existence. Let's just get out of the way. Let's get out of the way, let the internal resistance do what it must do. There will be elections, hopefully free elections. We'll see who the most important organization there is. That's not our concern as Americans. Our concern is to get out of the way and let's topple that regime. Or let the Iranians, people, let you all topple that regime. The general is here too. Well. So that message is fairly simple. I think American people can accept that. The American people, wherever we were on Iraq, I think have to say we cannot allow Ashraf fall and we cannot allow Iraq to fall to the Iranians. We must save both. Thank you so much.
Congressman Bartlett is my dear friend, and I know he saw me going in and out, and I thank him for his courtesies. Senator, I thank you for your courtesies. I thank all of the panelists for their courtesies. And what I would say to you is, isn't this an exciting day and era and point in our lives when you have such distinguished public servants to my right and to your left, and the long list of members of the United States Congress who are coming here and saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. These are renowned members who have advocated in their own right for issues of justice. They are policy makers. They are former members of the Department of Justice, Solicitor Generals, Attorney Generals, senators, spokespersons. This is a movement for justice. And I think it is enormously important. I have a number of notes here, but I'm going to really speak from the heart. First of all, let me congratulate the Foreign Affairs Committee for the unanimous amendment of my good friend Ted Poe that established a placeholder, a marker for the protection of Camp Ashraf, and as well the insistence of the United Nations being in place in Iraq to protect them for now and forever. That is an important policy statement. And it is your advocacy and leadership that has advocated consistently and with persistence. And how can you not? When you see the visuals of the massacre, how can you not fall to your knees? For some lay prostrate on the ground with the sheer violence and insensitivity. Right now, I am seeing the visuals as I speak. And so we have to be able to convey that to the other thinkers and policymakers and members of Congress and other leaders who can be part of the solution. And I think it is important to extend a hand of friendship to all peoples in the world. But it is also important not to ignore the kind of disrespect for human dignity that the Iranian leadership has poisoned the world with, so much so that we live in fear of their potential nuclear capacity, and the interfering or the connection between the Iraqi government and Iran so that nothing they can do, not even make peace with their own people in Iraq. They can't even make peace because they're so overwhelmed and dominated by a foreign government that has no intent for good purposes. Let's call it like it is. Iran is interfering and running Iraq, and it is causing the violence that is happening as we speak. And that is why Camp Ashraf is in the condition that it is. We need a free Iraq that can address the people that are within their confines and be open for those freedom-loving people like the people in Camp Ashraf. It is very important. So I imagine the scholars that are to my right will lay out very thoughtful positions. I just came back from the European Union, and it'd be interesting for me to speak to a number of the persons on this panel because I think we have some work to do to be able to get a better understanding of the fact that we are talking about human dignity and human rights. And I will say to you that all the peoples of the world do not have to agree with all the principles and comments about Camp Ashraf, or maybe the positions of the people there. But I want to ask the question to the world family: is anyone going to stand up and deny that you are for violence and the mutilation and the disrespect of human dignity? Or are you going to stand with the world and say, I may disagree with you politically, philosophically, I may challenge what you call yourselves, but I will stand against the tyrants and the tyranny of those who will undermine women and children and families and deny people health care and kill people, innocent people? Does the world stand against that? And that's what we're asking them to do, to stand against that kind of insensitivity. We're also asking that we move quickly on the determination of the MEK to have the ability to be free and to advocate and not to be characterized in a way that they have been characterized. We want to encourage our government to make a decision quickly after the court decision to be able to allow people to speak freely and to advocate for the needs of their people. So I conclude my remarks by indicating that it is important that Camp Ashraf not be relocated. It's important that the United Nations, with many, many responsibilities, views this as an issue and a cause destined for the United Nations mission. It is important that Iraq stand up as a world leader, and when I say that, as a now new country coming into the family of world nations with leaders who you would hope by and large would be those who respect human dignity. It is time for the Iraqi government to accept the gift that was given to them. The treasure that was lost of American lives was not lost frivolously. It was lost for democracy. It was lost so that people could live in choices that they make, not that they are under the oppressive hand of another government of which we thought we were not creating. So I think it is important that Iraq accepts that challenge for all of those who agreed or disagreed in this country about that action. And so I believe it is important to support Congressman Filner, my friend's resolution. I join him in that. But I also believe, as I expect to introduce a resolution to be able to ask the International Criminal Court to investigate and charge individuals with offenses against human dignity and the people at Camp Ashraf. I believe that that is an important step. So I hope Thank you. I hope you will encourage our fellow colleagues to support that legislation. I'm a quick study. It doesn't take me long to sort of get it. And I'm delighted to stand here with such a distinguished member of Congress as those who've gone before me, but also Congressman Roscoe Bartlett. I leave the stage by saying we have faith too. We are in different religions in this country. And there are many of us that are in unique religions. And wouldn't it be sad or different or smaller that our government would seek us out? That is not the cause of a democracy. The cause of a democracy is to affirm our uniqueness, our difference, our faith, and our opportunities and our possibilities. Thank you all so very much for being part of championing all of what these values mean to all of us. Thank you. Good to see you.